If you're new to credit cards, today's video is going to be perfect for you. In today's video, we'll be highlighting the best credit cards right now for beginners to get if you have no credit or you have some previous credit by linking yourself with your parents by adding yourself as an authorized user. Welcome back, guys. It's Trevor. In today's video, we'll be highlighting the best beginner starter credit cards to get you started into the credit card game, earn those rewards, and travel the world for free. Now let's jump right into the best credit cards. Number one, we're going to talk about the Discover It student card. Now the Discover It student card is a card that not a lot of people talk about. This card is aimed for students not only just in high school, but you could be in college as well. So this card is perfect for those in some sort of formal education. So first off, we're going to talk about the rewards of this card. This card is going to give you 5% back on rotating quarterly categories. Now these categories are posted on the Discover website and will be available inside the app or your dashboard when you log in. Now this calendar doesn't change every single year, so each year and each month will stay the same. So essentially what the months are looking like is January to March, you're gonna get 5% on grocery stores, Walgreens and CVS, and April through June, you're gonna get 5% on gas stations, wholesale clubs, and select streaming services. Now through July through September, you're gonna get 5% back on restaurants and payment using PayPal. October through December, which is Q4 of the year where a lot of people do shopping, you're gonna get 5% back on Amazon.com, Walmart.com, and Target.com. This card has $0 in terms of annual fees. It has an offer by Discover called the Unlimited Cashback Match for the first year. So what this means essentially is Discover will match your cashback value dollar for dollar up to the quarterly spend. Obviously, you're only allowed to spend and get certain amount of cashback per quarter. You get cashback up to $1,500 per quarter, meaning you can get a total of $75 per quarter in terms of cashback. And with the Discover It Unlimited Cashback Match, you're gonna get $150 in terms of a statement credit. So essentially that means you're gonna get 10% cash back when you use those select categories in those months for the first year. Even if you use this card for any other categories in the specific month, you're gonna get 1% cash back, but double that, and you're gonna get 2% cash back for the first year when you have this card. So with a limited cashback match for the first year, you really want to utilize this card because the lowest you can get is 2%, which is pretty good for a beginner card. And all the other ones like Citi Double Cash and the Capital One Smart cards give you 2% unlimited back. And being a very first starter card, Discover is going to give you 2% back or up to 10% back when you select one of those categories to spend in. So this card also gives you a $20 statement credit every single school year as long as your GPA is over 3.0, and I believe that's like a B average. So if you're in college or you're in your last year of high school, you're going to get $20 free just by getting good grades. So it does pay off to get some decent grades. Now I actually heard of some people getting this exact statement credit when they're lower than a 3.0. So 3.0 is not threshold, but if you're higher than that, it's going to be almost guaranteed you're going to get that statement. If you're not a student, then this card isn't for you, the Discover It student card, but I have the perfect alternative called the Discover It credit card, which is the normal version of the Discover It card, just non-secured and not for students. And this one, you're gonna get basically the same thing as the Discover It student card, except no good grades statement credits. You're gonna get a higher credit line usually than a student card, and you're also gonna get a longer 0% APR for up to 14 months on the normal Discover It credit card compared to the student card, which gives you a 6-month 0 APR. But always with these 0% APRs, make sure you can actually afford to use and pay this off in full. Don't rely too much on this 0% APR. It's just a promotional. Always make sure you can cover this in full, pay it off in full, at all costs. This is why people go into credit card debt, is they're not paying off the balance, and they're going into debt with and swiping their credit cards, thinking they have money in their bank account, but they don't. Now, if you aren't a student and this is your very first credit card, I suggest you check out the Discover It secured card. Now, the secured card is basically a way for you to deposit money into Discover, and they're going to give you a credit line to match depending on how much you deposit. So let's say you deposit $200, you're going to get a $200 credit line to use, and after roughly, I would say 6 months or more, you're going to get that money that you deposit back in terms of a statement credit. So you basically are going to get that money back after you prove to Discover that you can pay off your balance in full every single month and not carry a balance. So with a secured card, you're not going to get as good of rates compared to the student card or the normal Discover It credit card. But this card still offers pretty decent rates. So you can get 2% cash back at gas stations and restaurants, up to $1,000 per quarter, meaning that's essentially $333 worth of spend in terms of how much you're going to get back in cash back per month in each quarter, and get 1% back at everything else. So this card also gets the Discover It treatment of the Discover It unlimited cashback match for the first year. So this gas station 2% in restaurants is essentially going to be 4% and 2% everything else. Now, people are actually getting declined for the Discover It secured card, and actually I did some research on this, and this is because Discover's algorithm actually handpicks people to be selected and be qualified for Discover secured card. Now, I'm not sure about the exact qualifications, and this is kind of silly that Discover It declines people for a secured card, but even myself, I got declined for Discover secured card, so I went with a card called the Capital One secured Platinum card. And this card isn't as good as any of those Discover It cards, but it did get me accepted, and it did give me a fairly generous offer of only depositing $49 for a $200 credit line. The Capital One secured card also has a $0 annual fee, and you shouldn't be paying any fees as your very first few credit cards because there just really isn't any need to, especially with a very low credit line. Now, anyone will get approved for this card. If you get declined for the Discover It secured, right away apply for the Capital One secured, because you're almost always going to get approved for this card, since Capital One is more of a subpar lender compared to Discover, American Express, and the other credit card issuers. Now, this card being a secured card in Capital One, they're not going to give you any cash back, unfortunately, but they do have a offer that sometimes appears. Now, I got this exact offer where I only had to deposit $49 for a $200 credit line, and I'm pretty sure this was because they saw my credit history when I was linked as an authorized user under my parents for a Discover It card. So this is probably why I only had to pay $49 for a $200 credit line. But if you don't get this offer, don't be too bummed out, because you could still get approved for a either $49 or $99 for a $200 credit line. But you can always deposit more than $200 if you want a higher credit line. You don't always have to, but I suggest just go with $200 because you probably don't need to spend too much, especially if this is your first card. Now, this card also has the automatic credit line increase every 6 months, where the robot evaluates how frequently you're paying off your bills, are you paying it off in full, and are carrying balances, and it will increase your credit line automatically for you every 6 months at a time. And once you establish yourself as a great borrower and you can pay off your bills in time, just like the Discover It secured card, you will get your refundable deposit back in terms of a statement credit. So those are the 3 cards I highly suggest any beginners to check out if you're new to the credit card game or you're rebuilding credit. These 3 cards are going to be perfect whether you're a student, or you messed up your credit and you're rebuilding, or you can't get approved for Discover It secured card, so you can go for the Capital One secured card. These 3 or 4 cards are the best right now for anyone to get approved. I also want to give honorable mention to Tomo Card. I did a review on them, and I do suggest anyone to check out them as well. They do give you a generous credit line and 1% cash back across the board. But if you can get approved for the Discover It cards, they are essentially way better or twice as better as the Tomo card. So that's why Tomo is not on this list. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions regarding starter credit cards, leave them down below inside of the comment section. I'll make sure to answer them as soon as possible, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.